Hey guys, it's Not Lammers of Invoked 101, and as you can probably tell, I'm actually a little sick. I've done some talking in the past hour, so hopefully my throat is a little more cleared up, and I do sound better. But if you notice any like pauses or a lot of cuts, it's because I'm coughing. I wanted to not include that here. Also, another update coming from the previous video, the locals vlog, where I mentioned that we needed a new space to film. I'm actually not on a tiny table. I'm currently at our brand new desk. We have the computer on one side. We have this side for filming. It's an L shape, so that's really cool. Has this little cubby for deck boxes over there, and then the lamp actually has a nice little spot, so that way it projects like the perfect amount of light onto the cards. I'm also filming on the table using a smaller tripod this time, and it is a rickety old tripod, so if you notice any shaking or anything like that, it's from the tripod itself, not just from like me playing with the table and shaking it. With that said, this is my first place in Invoked deck profile. I'm sorry, I've had some trouble like just speaking in general today. Anyways, had a blast playing this at locals a couple days ago, because I believe it's Monday now, so super hype to share this with you guys. It's 42 cards with a 15 cards extra deck and side deck, and I really hope you guys like this. But before we get into the deck profile, down in the description there's a link to our Discord, our Patreon, our Teespring, and our Ko-fi. So if you feel like supporting us in any way, down there is how you can do it. So with all that said, move the spells and traps and extra deck out of the way and get right into the main deck monsters. I'm also trying out some new camera settings, so if the camera seems a little weird or if the audio video looks a little different, it's because I changed some settings, so hopefully it looks better than the last video. We're playing 3 Alistair because it's Invoked Mech Knight, and Alistair is super important. None of his effects are once per turn, so if you could normal summon him multiple times in one turn, you can actually search multiple times, and his Honest effect isn't once per turn either, so a pretty awesome card overall. Next guy we got is triple Purple Nightfall, another really awesome Mech Knight. And again, another quick update. The reason, if you guys see the clip where my opponent activates a virus trap and I chain purple, it's because he actually gave me the opportunity to respond, and I wasn't familiar with the virus traps. I've since been told how it works, and we discussed it, and we looked at like the cards, because I remember looking at the card after the match and being like, and thinking that, but I wasn't sure because he had been playing the deck more. So that is why it's like that. But from what I understood from the card, it wouldn't have affected game state very much. But yeah, purple, really cool, searches stuff. Blue also searches stuff. This guy was also really good at locals because I was able to resolve him a ton and search like 2 Mech Knights, which was insane. Searching 2 cards off of this guy is nuts, especially when you get it off of that and then you search the 23 and the 2400. So speaking of the 2400, Move Man. Move Man is awesome, and yes, I agree with 2. Same with 2 blue. I agree with 2 blue and 2 Move Man. I know some people are like 1 Move Man, 2 blue, 3 purple, or like 1 blue, 2 Move Man, 3 purple, like stuff like that. But I like this. And then we have the 2 quote-unquote bricks. A lot of people call them that. Red and yellow. I don't think they're garnets or bricks at all. I actually really like them. Yellow being able to hit back row, and red doing the by banishing a Mech Knight, and red doing the same but monsters is pretty awesome, and I have no regrets about adding these to my deck. I think I did a video where it was the first time in a while where I started adding yellow, or I added yellow back, and I also said like I don't hate him in the deck. I actually quite like him in there, so both of these are really cool for the deck. I like them. Actually, and I don't usually side them out unless like I'm playing against a deck that doesn't play a lot of monsters or doesn't play a lot of back row. So that's it for the real monsters. For hand traps, we have Triple Ash, because it's like the best hand trap in the game right now. It's still really good. And then arguably the next best one is Phantasme. So I only have 2, so I'm playing 2. Really good card. And this deck is 42, so if you don't have Phantasmes, you can cut him. He's not necessarily important for the deck. He's just a piece of consistency, and he also prevents your stuff from getting targeted. So for a discard, he negates targeting by discarding, which is really awesome. So I like him. I've had no issues playing this so far. Master Rule 5 comes around, I'm probably gonna swap him for like Ghost Ogres or something. Not sure yet. That's it for the main deck monsters. Moving into the spells and traps, we of course have triple invocation. I actually resolved all 3 of these in one turn at one point, so that's pretty cool. It's just like Miracle Fusion, and it's literally one of the best fusion spells ever printed. It also fetches Alistair, which is nice. Over here, we also have the field spell, which also fetches Alistair, and then it also prevents your fusion summons from being negated. I had someone try to ghost spell my invocation, but this was on the board, so invocation still went through because the effects and activations of cards that include fusion summon cannot be negated, and it was attempting to negate invocation. So, speaking of fetching, terraforming, that gets the field spell, of course. I remember back when this was at 3 and we used to only play 2 of the field spell, because I actually almost always opened both of these that locals, which really sucked, but I ended up just using this. I either would set it and then flip it, or I would setting it to summon a Mech Knight, or I would just straight activate it and try to bait Ash. Pot of Desires right here, 2 of these for consistency, just 4. And I know you always want to like banish Desires off Desires, but I have no problems with it. And I've never like banished everything. Like I've never banished everything off of Desires, which is like really good. Like I have no problems with it. Then we have the mandatory 1 of in this deck, which is Succession. I actually upgraded mine, so it's parallel now. But yeah, this is the Monster Reborn like card. The Mech Knight Link searches it, so you want to play at least 1. And then I'm playing triple Super Poly. This is just a card that like this deck abuses because it is Super Poly deck. All the Invoke Fusions are Super Poly targets. And then triple Mind Control. I used to not play Mind Control in my Invoke deck, and now I realize how great it is. I resolved this twice in 1 turn because I opened 2, and I double Mind Controlled the Salamangreat player, which was awesome. I stole Sunlight Wolf and Jack Jaguar, so that was nice. Then I'm playing triple Called By. This is one of the cards I put in. I added a 3rd Called By the Grave because I cut the Shaddolls, as you might have noticed. There are no Shaddol fusions in here. But yeah, so 3 Called Bys, and I changed them to Ultras because I just didn't have a 3rd Super, which I thought was kind of funny. Then we have the other card I almost put to 3, which is Cosmic Cyclone. No regrets about swapping Twin Twisters for Cyclones. I really, really like the Cyclones, and honestly, let me talk about the 41st and 42nd card in my deck before I go on. 2 instant fusion. I do wish that these were other cards currently, but I didn't hate them while at locals, but I also didn't like them per se. I thought they were okay. I definitely thought they could have been better, like as a 3rd Cyclone or as a 3rd Infinite Impermanence, which if I get the 3rd Infinite Impermanence, that's definitely what's going to happen. But currently, with the ratios, the 2 Cyclones, 2 Impermanence, and 2 Fusions, I don't want to bump Cyclone up to 3 and then only have 1 instant fusion and 2 Impermanence. I want to have no instant fusion, 3 Cyclone, and 3 Impermanence. So yeah, like I said, it's 42. So, and that's it for the main deck. Extra deck, I am playing 2 Mechaba because you have to, because he's the negation one of the best ones. Then we have like arguably the best one, which is Purgatrio. So good, being able to attack a bunch, and oh man, this won me games. This won games last week. I layer summon 3 tokens and Diabolos and just slam them. Just Diabolos and then token, and then swing with Mechaba. Oh, it's so good. Then we play the one that not a lot of people play, which is Cockgeous or Cocytus. It's good, and I like playing it because when you run into a water deck, usually you can banish that one guy that they recycle and make this, and then it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and it has 2900 defense, so it is kind of hard to get over. I like him. I think it's good. I have no issues with it. Then, returning to the extra deck is Raijin. I cut Raijin for a while, but with Instant Fusion added back, I felt it was good to have him and Kaliga as Instant Fusion targets, but him especially because he does flip himself face down, and even if I cut the Instant Fusions, I'll probably keep him because he's the Wind Fusion, and every now and then you run into a deck that uses Wind stuff. Then I play 1 Elysium, mainly for Super Poly, and then 1 Starving Gun Fusion, also for Super Poly. With those out of the way, talk about links. 1 Almirage to get Alistair off the field and into the graveyard, so that way you can like fuse with him even more. Like you don't have to waste field advantage, and also to start Mech Knight columns, just like finishing out columns and stuff like that. 1 Mech Knight Boy to search Succession and also protect the Mech Knights. It's just another copy of Alistair, so even if you do banish all 3 Alistairs off of Desires, you have a 4th. So that's like one of the best reasons off of this guy. IP, there are times where you don't want to make either of these, and I'll talk about this when I get more to the side deck, and you want to make this instead. This is also really good for summoning Unicorn on your opponent's turn and spinning stuff. A Blackluster Soldier. This is a really cool card, and I summoned it, I think, twice at locals. And one time it got Boral loaded, and the other time it won me the game. So, you know, conflicted. And then we have the MVP of that night, which was Borrelsword. I don't think I went one match without summoning Borrelsword. I think I probably summoned it 6 times in that one night out of four matches. It was insane how many times I summoned this. And I know I've cut him from the extra deck before, and like I was even told like by one of my buddies, he's like, yeah, if you're gonna add Winda, cut Borrelsword, you never summon it. And I was summoning it all night last night. So Borrelsword, awesome, good card. That's it for the extra deck. Moving into the side deck, because I did have a side deck and I figured you guys would want to see it. I'm playing more back row hate in the form of Heavy Stormduster. Just because my deck doesn't feature a lot of back row hate currently, so I felt Stormduster was really good. Then we have like the mandatory card for Invoked Mech Knight side deck, which is Red Reboot, because if you do run against trap decks, you can kill them if you have the hand. You just need to Red Reboot them and pay the 4 grand and just deal with it. I normal summoned Alistair and my opponent judgmented me, and I Red Rebooted it, so we were both at 4,000, and I just had the damage, so I swung into him. And so yeah, Red Reboot definitely mandatory. Also mandatory is the Sanctums, but you want to play 2 Scythe. And the reason you want to play 2 Scythe is because even if you draw the Scythe, you still have, if you draw Scythe and Sanctum, you're not dead, but also you can pitch the Scythe to make Mechaba off of Invocation, and your opponent will think that you lost your Scythe, that you don't have, that your Sanctum's dead. So he'll be like, oh, okay, he's only sighting in the 1 Scythe. So if you play the second one, you can bait your opponent. It's awesome. Card I would switch out was Droll. Never Sighted the Sin. It's been in my side deck for a little while now, and probably gonna swap it for something else. Potentially a third. There can only be one. But yeah, so this card with IP Masquerena. One of the big reasons we play it is whenever you flip this up, you get locked in, and because the Mech Knights are psychic and their Link monster is a machine, you can make that. But if you make Alistair, it gives you options for making stuff, because you can't link into Alistair, but you can start linking stuff away and make Masquerena, and then make Link to Alistair, and then do stuff with him. So that's one of the reasons we play Masquerena, but it's also just because you can make Unicorn and spin stuff, which has won me games before. Masquerena is definitely a good card to use. That's it. That's it for the deck too. It's like I said, it's 42. You can cut it to 40 with a simple switcheroo and a simple change. I like this deck a lot. I've been playing Invoked since Master Rule 4 began. That's when I got my second Invocation and really could start playing the deck how it wanted to be played. But like before then, like I've been playing Invoked Mech Knights since the Mech Knights came out, and it's so much fun, and it felt so good to be playing it last night. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this deck in the comments below. Once again, I'm really sorry that I'm sick, but I just wanted to show you guys this video, to get this video out to you guys. And down in the description, if you feel like supporting us, is a link to our Teespring, our Ko-fi, our Patreon, and our Discord. So if you feel like supporting us in any way, down there is how to do it. We also have Invoked 101 mats available for sale. If you message us on our Instagram, which is at Invoked 101, we can hook you up with that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.